Hello, everybody. Welcome to the final episode of the 2020-2021 season of the Young Guns podcast. And coming up in today's episode, we have Fantasy Premier League discussion. We got two very important guests over here, two professionals, one might add, to help guide the unprofessionals over here and making the right decisions. We got the discussion of the Euros coming up, and we got transfer rumors regarding the good old Arsenal. So, Chezlin, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm well. It's been a good few weeks since the season ended. So yeah, I'm doing well. Um, let's get straight into it. Euros 2021 starts next Friday, I think it is. Alex, one of our young guns from the UK, our token Englishman.
So young, thanks.
I just wanted to get your thoughts because I see that England's first game is Croatia. Replay of that semi-final in the 2018 World Cup. I wanted to see your thoughts on where you thought England, how you thought England would do this time around in the Euros.
Oh, I'll tell you what, we had a really easy run-in to get to that semi-final. To be honest, we had probably the easiest run-in that we've had since I can remember, anyway. So I think that played a big part in it. And then, we got to the semi-final and the players looked absolutely knackered. And Croatia just looked like they got more energy. I think they were better managed as a team. I think they played more together. I think we kind of stumbled our way into that semi-final. And then third place match, that sort of showed what level we were actually at when Belgium smashed us. I know the third place match is not really played for anything. No one really cares by that stage. But... yeah, I think we fluked our way into it. Now, what do I rate our chances this time in the Euros? Well, it's great that we're taking 4 right backs. I think that's amazing. And we're taking 5 midfielders and 4 right backs. Brilliant decisions there. I just, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But I think he's probably going to look to play 3 at the back in that case and use the others as sort of wing backs. But 4 right backs, and he leaves someone like Jesse Lingard out, who's had a pretty good end to the season. I know Jesse Lingard's on standby, but still, 4 right backs. So I don't know. It's really difficult to tell, really. I think we should cruise it through the group stages, but then it's a case of who do we meet in the knockout stages, and what tends to happen is as soon as England go up against anyone half decent, they crumble. Every single tournament we just collapse. And that's just the way it is. It doesn't matter how bad the Germany team is, they will beat us. I have no doubt about that. It doesn't matter how bad the Italian team is, they will probably still beat us. Same with Spain. Well, I don't know. Yeah, probably the same with Spain. Probably, France have got a really good team anyway, so the likelihood is they will batter us. I'd like to think with the quality of the players that we've got, I'd like to think that we could get to the final and possibly win it. Because let's say the England team has got some top quality players. But I don't know. I think the whole squad selection's a little bit off. Like I say, we crumble against big teams. So I'm not holding my hopes up. When we played in the 2010 World Cup, and Warren will tell you this, I was super England, right? Super England. And I was convinced that we were going to win it. It was our time to win it. And I've never been so disappointed in a string of England performances as I was in that World Cup. It was horrendous. So I'm not holding my hopes up at all.
So I've actually also always backed England. Bafana isn't good at anything, so England has always been the team that I've backed. So I feel the same way. We were chatting about it at home because all my housemates actually are also backing England. So we're like, maybe let's support the other team this year, and maybe England will win when we don't support them. So let's see what happens. Azhar, anyone who you
the squad selection just baffled me. I read today he commented if there was 2 more right backs that were good enough for the 26, he would have picked them. So I don't know what's going on with Southgate. Then I was surprised. So the 4 right backs was definitely overkill, and then he picks Philip Henderson and Rice, who's very similar in what they're going to do in the team, and leaves out Lingard. So yeah, I would have went for form. I know Grealish is a big player, and he probably is taking a chance with him given his injuries and getting back now. But you got to go with what with the form players. Having said that, I mean the squad is quite strong. I'm just not convinced Southgate will get the best out of them. He'll pick the right combinations against the right teams, and that to me I think has been more England's downfall than. It's not that they don't have the players; it's how they're picking the right combinations for the right games, and I think they get that wrong sometimes. So yeah, and
Yes.
it's Sterling to me. I mean, I know he's been a regular, but he's just been terrible. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, and we'll get to Sterling a bit later on. Yaaseen, who are you backing?
I'm a France supporter. I've supported France since I've learned of Thierry Henry. So I'm always an admirer of the England squad because they always seem to have the really good players. Like I remember Lampard, Scholes, Gerrard. They've always had these amazing Rooney. They've always had these amazing players, but they haven't been able to get the trophies. And I feel like the Euros coming up, it's not going to be any different. I feel like England are going to crumble, and I do believe that France will take it. Um, Massive fan of Olivier Giroud. Maybe we'll see him score a goal actually this tournament.
Man, Giroud wins a Champions League and a World Cup, and all he's got is he's got a sore butt from sitting on the bench all the time. It's incredible.
You want it though. You want it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan, but we have our reasons. The next point, the biggest point, we have, like Yaaseen said, we have our 2 fantasy Premier League experts on the show today. I'm going to share the log. I'll share it for Azhar's sake. You can look till number 4 and then don't look any lower than that. But yeah, Azhar was one of our people who ended in the top 4 this season, which is actually quite amazing. Not too far behind number 1, Mark Hudson, finishing number 1, Douglas Poseidon number 2, and Hugo Chivava. I think I absolutely butchered that name. Third. Azhar, how do you do it?
No, it's been interesting. I actually did worse than last year when I look at the total points. I'm 4 below what I got last year. So it was a mixed season. I mean, Alex can tell you think you're doing well, and all of a sudden this year wasn't about the money or having money in the bank. It was about choosing the right players and the right differentials. Because the points came from the likes of Lingard at a stage. I mean, Justin in the beginning of the season was a sure in. So it was more the getting the right differentials and the captaincy pick. But yeah, it was just an odd season. So, but yeah. I enjoy it. I mean, it takes time. You get to learn about the other teams and the other players, and yeah, that's the fun of it as well, I suppose. It's a bit difficult when you got to pick Spurs players, but you can't be emotional in fantasy league. I mean, you gotta go with form, like I said, and that's just the way it is. Yeah. Alex, your view?
My view is, can we share have you got the December log?
Unfortunately, we're not like Spurs. The league doesn't end in December for us.
It was top 10. It was actually top 10 until about a month ago, and then it went horribly wrong. I don't know what happened actually. A few wrong decisions. Yeah, I personally blame COVID.
Yeah.
For the unpredictability of it. To be honest, that's probably why because usually what fantasy teams do absolutely abysmal, and I forget most of the time. This was actually the first time that I'd actually concentrated on it almost every week, and there was a few times that I forgot. And I think the unpredictability of the results that were coming in and the team selections and everything at the beginning of the season was probably the main reason why he ended up near the top. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it was a mixed bag. There was a few weeks I forgot, and when I thought I was going to get it right, sometimes I got it wrong, and then sometimes when I forgot, I absolutely smashed it. Especially with Vardy against Man City, that was an absolute winner. So yeah, I don't know. We'll try again next year. Hopefully, get in the top 10 next year.
Okay. Yaaseen, can you tell us what not to do for Fantasy Premier League?
Well, if you take a look at my team, you'll see what not to do. I ended up 74th in the Arsenal Cape Town League. So top 100, I'll take that. It was definitely a difficult season for sure. I struggled more than normally this season, so normally I'm not this bad. But like my father said, it was about picking the right players at the right times, and depending on who's performing and form. And I guess I didn't do that well. I thought I had some pro strategies this season, and then ending up with 20 points in a game week. That's not the best. But yeah, so I've got an interesting question. So coming up next season, who is the first player that you're putting in your team? First player.
That's for me. That's easy. That's Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, that's goes without saying. He's usually my anchor. This season, not so much because of the injuries or so, but I usually will build my team around someone like him. It's just the consistency. I picked Bruno this year because Kevin was on and off. I'm not a big Fernandes fan. I mean, he gets points when he gets penalties, and he doesn't get against the the bigger teams. But Kevin De Bruyne usually steps up, and he's value.
I think Salah might be my one next season, unless he leaves. Seeing Liverpool surge at the end, he looks on pretty good form, and he's not in the Euros either, so he'll come back fresh next season.
Yeah. So Chezlin, are you planning on joining Fantasy Premier League next season or not?
I'm not sure if you guys can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we can.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I don't think I will play it. Again, only because it takes away my bias. I just can't cheer on another player playing for another team. It doesn't work for me. So yeah, that's it. I'll be more than happy to help someone else with their team, but I'm not playing that game. But if you are,
I must say the game's grown. I don't know, Alex, how long you've been playing as well, but I think we've been playing Yaaseen for about 6-7 years now.
Ooh.
It's just grown phenomenally season on season. It's becoming a lot more difficult because your players that are in the 6-7 million mark that do well now, next year, the price gets up, so it becomes a lot more difficult choosing kind of good buys or cheapies that get you lots of points. But yeah, it's really, I mean, it's fun. Alex, you must give it a go, Chezlin.
Yeah, I've been playing on and off since 1990. I think 1993, 94 was my first season playing it, which was when it pretty much when it first started coming out, mainstream in England. I think, and you had to join a newspaper thing. I think it was.
Wow.
Was it the Sun or the Telegraph or something like that? That was the fantasy league, and you couldn't change your players every week like you can now. Your team was your team, and then I think in the January transfer window you could make transfers, and that was it. But you were stuck with that team.
Oh wow.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I just got some news that Chezlin's Wi-Fi is acting up, and I don't think he can join us for the remainder of the show. But we'll see where it goes. So yes, so now
Have you got the question?
we know the plan. He's got the question, so I'm gonna try and make this up as I go along. But yes, okay. So I want to sneak in a sneaky question that I've been thinking of, in the background over there, because Cheslin's the question man. But how we just for the sake of this channel and being on this platform and everything, just sum up Arsenal season in one sentence, just the previous season, and then sum up your hopes for next season in one sentence also. So I just want to get a feel on how we're feeling about the club.
In one word, this past season, poor. One word for next season, better.
Yeah, that's hopeful. That's good. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. I mean, this season abysmal. There's just Next season hopeful.
Okay. That's a positive outlook. I'm happy with that. And that's a perfect segue into the next topic: transfers. How are we going to build our squad for the next season? There have been a couple of rumors floating around. I saw particularly a good comparison rumor of potential new right backs for us, with Ashraf Hakimi being one and Max Aarons being another. So there's that. Oh, there we go. He's back. So how are we feeling about the transfer rumors coming up?
There's a few coming up. So I was quite intrigued by the City ones that have come in. So Sterling and Mahrez, there's two. I saw some people saying, "Oh, I wouldn't take either of them. I would take both of them without even thinking about it. Just get them." I mean, Sterling can be a very, very good player, and he might have dipped in form, but he was one of the best players in the whole Premier League, not this past season, but the season before. So he's got potential, and he's not that old either. I think, is he 25, 26 or something like that?
He's about 26, I think.
Yeah, so he's got a few more years left in him. If we get him for a good price, I mean, why wouldn't you take him? It's a no-brainer for me. Mahrez as well. I mean, he's a few years older, but still, he's got that experience, and he's got an eye for goal as well. One of the big things that we have with our wingers is, I mean, Pepe started to score, but for a long time we had wingers who can't score goals.
Yeah.
Whereas Mahrez and Sterling, they're both capable of putting the ball in the back of the net.
No, I agree. I mean, if you look at any good team that wants to get into the top four, you can't have your goals coming only from your front two. Defensively, we did quite well this season. If you look at the numbers, I suppose we just let in goals at the wrong time. So I'd also focus on any players that would get us more goals around the team. You can't. I mean, this year Aubameyang didn't score, and the results showed. Dependency on one player to score for us is too much. I like the feel of Mahrez in particular, because he's definitely seen to be getting better and better. And where the City would sell him now, I'm not sure. But yeah, anyone that's going to get us more goals, Alex, I have to agree, would be good signings. So that's where we'd have to strengthen, I would think.
Yeah, I quite like the idea of Buendia. I don't think we should go for Odegaard again. I've made my thoughts clear on him in previous videos. I don't think he's got the skills. I think he needs too much time on the ball to deliver what he needs to deliver. I think for the money that they're looking at, I think it was valued at something like 60 million. I mean, you would expect him to have, at least a right foot, which he doesn't have. Maybe he could develop that. I mean, Pepe started to develop his right foot, so who knows? But for that sort of money, you expect them to have 2 feet, surely. And I think, was it Morgan that was saying he was a bit like Zoolander or something? He couldn't turn left; he could only turn right. Listen, he's got talent, but I don't think he's the right player. Buendia, I think it would be a better fit, and I think he's more of a, I think him and Smith Rowe in that number 10 position. If we are going to play with the number 10, those two would be great for us, I think. Defensive midfielder wise, Bissouma seems like the perfect fit. There's lots of rumours floating around about him. Hopefully we can get him. But then, in that formation that we play, that 4-2-3-1, where does Bissouma fit? Does he fit in that two in front of the defence? Or are we looking to get him because we're going to change up the formation and play with maybe a 4-3-3 with a holding midfielder? I don't know. But I think he'd be a good addition to the team anyway.
I was impressed by Bissouma this year. If you look at Brighton and the way they played and how quickly he gets the ball from that defensive midfield position up front, he's almost a cheaper version of Kante. But I've been quite impressed with him. So I would definitely welcome him. if you think of how long we take to get the ball through from the back through the middle up front, I mean, Basuma could help. And defensively, he's very, very strong. So him with Party, I think they complement one another quite well. It's more the I'm really, really looking for the youngsters to step forward again because they were fantastic this year. I mean, our season basically centered around how well Saka did, Smith Rowe coming on the last part of the season. And I'm really hoping Pepe then steps up because he seems to be a confidence player and he grows from what he did in the last couple of games. So yeah, we'd have to depend. We've got really, really good youngsters, but we need some results now as well. And getting that blend right would be important. So someone like Basuma, Buendia, given where we are and getting top talent in, they seem like really, really good options for me.
I'm in agreement as well. I think with the signings we need to make. I was watching some highlights of I'm not sure when Nani played, but he's just a different type of player. And like Alex said, I think he's going to do much better than Odegaard. So that's the one player that I would absolutely love to see coming in. Crazy question: who's the one player who you would like to see shipped out? If there's one player you could choose in Arsenal, who would that be? Yaaseen, you can go first.
I am going to say Aubameyang.
What?
Now I know it's been one bad season for him. He did put in a massive shift for us previous season, but honestly, I don't feel like he's got it anymore. I really don't feel like he's got it anymore. I mean, maybe he comes back a revitalized new player next season, but I want to see him go because again, that'll free up space also to get another top player in like Sterling or Mahrez. Because I'm slightly concerned with the development of Saka if we end up getting another right wing. Because then, if we get Mahrez is going to be one to be playing almost every single game on the right wing. And that leaves us where do we play Saka then? Do we shift him to left wing back? Do we shift him to left wing? And I feel like it's gonna be a tough one, but I would really like to see Aubameyang go actually.
I'd say Willian, eh? I mean, it's so much salary and what we're getting is, I mean, nowhere near what we expected. Is it going to get any better for us? I think we've got more than enough youngsters that are coming through that would get a lot more game time, so we could offload for those wages and probably then Buendia and Basuma become more and more of an option as well. But who's going to take Willian on now? That's the question, I suppose.
Yeah, for me, well, you've taken my two choices. Well, the third choice now. Yeah, I want to see Aubameyang and Willian go. I've heard AC Milan are interested in Willian. I've heard Chelsea are interested in taking him back. Take him, have him. Brilliant. Who's the third one? I suppose it would be. I think it would be Bellerin, wouldn't it? Really. And I think he's on his way out anyway. I just, I don't hate the guy. I just think he's, he is very committed. I just think he's not performed to standard at all. When you realise that when you think that Chambers has just come back from a really, really long injury, and he just went into that right back position and owned it. And I think Chambers was actually our best defender towards the end of the season. I can't think of a game where we conceded a goal where Chambers was at fault for it. I'm struggling to think of one. I can't think of one. Whereas all the other defenders, you can put them at fault for one or two of the goals at least throughout the season.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's time for Bellerin probably to move on, and I think we're looking at getting another right back anyway. So.
Okay. I can't say I would have chosen Aubameyang. It's a very interesting one. I think that's not going to ponder on our mind now all night. But yeah, Eddie Nketiah, he's just polyfiller. I think that it's time for him. With somebody like Balogun coming in, I can't see Eddie Nketiah just getting into that team. And if we can get 15 million for him, I'd say go for it. So go for it. I know we asked this on the other show, and I'm not sure what I missed it. I wasn't here. Sorry, my Wi-Fi is acting a bit funky. predictions for where we're going to end next season.
Whew. That's, yeah, we eternal optimists. I mean, as Arsenal fans, so so we're always going to want to say top 4. We look, I really hope we push close to the top 4 mark, and we get a lot more of our youngsters will have a lot more experience. So to me, the likes of City will get stronger, Chelsea will get stronger, Liverpool will get stronger, United will get stronger, but we got to be in amongst them in some form or the other to get better. So if we can do what the likes of Leicester and West Ham are doing and be a bit more consistent. I mean, we there were stages in the season where we were really bad. Then we got into some good form, and then Luiz gets sent off against Wolves. I mean, and that just drops up for another couple of weeks, and then we come right. So if we can be a bit more consistent, especially at home, get close to the top 4, I'd say that's progress. We also need to acknowledge where we are. I mean, it's saying we're going to be champions next season and the likes of City, Chelsea, Liverpool around us. I mean, that's there's not being practical right now.
For me,
give me a number. Give me a number. Give me a place on the log. I need to hear a place on the log.
What I'd love is 4th. What I expect to happen. Yeah. What I expect to happen is 5th.
Okay.
For me, it's got to be 4th. It's top 4 or bust for Arteta. We're out of Europe. There is, and if he gets the players that he wants in over the summer, there is absolutely no excuse for him not getting a top 4 place. There is nothing left for him to moan about. You know, the owners have said that they're going to back him this time. So if they do and they're getting the right players, and we've got no European football in the midweek, then it has to be top 4. So I'm going to go with 4th.
Yeah,
that's what my heart and hopefully my head.
I'm sticking with my decision that I made on the other show, and I think I said 5th. I'm not sure. I think I cannot see us realistically. All of a sudden finishing in the top 4. I feel like we need to take a small step forward, and small step is the Europa League, and I feel like
we've dropped that far.
I think the Europa League, getting the Europa League at the end of this season would actually be quite damaging for us.
Could be,
I'm with you, Alex. I think this is if we're not in December, I think quite a few people want Arteta out already. Especially with what the owners have been saying. I'm not sure I trust them enough. But yeah, it's I guess it's a wait and see approach. If Arteta gets the players that he wants in, everyone's been talking about the great money. If we don't see it by October, he has to leave, and we'll see where things go from there. Interestingly enough, I see today that the guys from down the road are being linked with Conte. So all the teams are getting so Arsenal.
I'm not worried about Spurs. I mean, they will stuff it up somehow, no matter who they have. It's what we do that matters, I suppose.
Have they even got a manager yet? They haven't got a manager yet, have they?
Antonio Conte has been linked to them. Apparently, he's been
linked, but they haven't got anyone yet.
I mean, they got Pochettino went to PSG and couldn't win Ligue 1. So with the likes of Mbappe, and so if they want him back, they're more than welcome. Even though I think he's a pretty good coach. Yeah, look, for us, it's Arteta. I'm a fan. I have my doubts. The first 5 games, if it doesn't go well, we need to cut our losses. I mean, waiting through the whole season for it is just going to be too long. We need to, let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be a very important summer for Arsenal. But I think that's going to be the end of our show, of our final show for this season. Yaaseen, do you want to say any final words?
We will do better next season. We will do better.
We can only do better.
Your fingers crossed, all of them. Yeah,
have hope.
It's been an awesome season, even though it's been ups and downs. Alex, Azhar, our two young guns. It's been awesome having you on our show. Hope to have you back sometime next season. And yeah, as always, up you Gunners.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thanks for having us on. Yeah, cheers, guys.